Let me ask you something. How many times have you let someone's words ruin your day? How often have you allowed their negativity to steal your joy, your focus, your energy? How many nights have you lain awake, replaying a moment, wishing you'd said something sharper, wishing they'd treated you with the respect you deserve? Here's the cold, hard truth. Your peace is yours. Your happiness is yours. No one has the right to take that from you. But people will try. They'll test you. They'll disrespect you. They'll push every button you've got. That's life. You can't control what they do, but you can control what you let affect you. You can choose to rise above, to stay unshaken, to outmaneuver them with brains, not brawn. Today, I'm going to show you how to walk through life untouchable with the calculated, relentless mind of Walter White. Calm, strategic, unstoppable. Inspired by his ability to outmaneuver everyone around him, this is about beating them with brains, staying one step ahead, and claiming the power that's rightfully yours. Most people believe emotions are like storms, wild, unpredictable, uncontrollable. They're dead wrong. Emotions aren't random, they're responses, and responses can be mastered. Think about it. Two people face the same insult. One loses it, shouting, raging, letting it ruin their day. The other, they stay calm, unfazed, in control. The difference isn't the insult, it's the person, it's their mindset, it's their power. Master your emotions. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct is to fire back, to defend yourself, to prove they can't talk to you that way. But stop. Ask yourself, what do you gain? Reacting emotionally hands them your power. They walk away smirking, knowing they got under your skin, while you're left carrying their poison, anger, frustration, doubt. That's not winning, that's losing in disguise. True power lies in restraint, in choosing not to react. Picture this. Someone's in your face, provoking you, waiting for you to crack. They're throwing insults, questioning your worth, daring you to lose it. Now imagine looking them dead in the eye, giving a slight smile, and walking away. Do you know how powerful that is? It's infuriating for someone who feeds on drama to see you refuse their game. Their fire dies without your fuel. Think of Walter White in Breaking Bad. When faced with threats, he didn't always lash out. He calculated. He stayed calm. He let his enemies underestimate him, then struck with precision. In one scene, when Gus Fring's men tried to intimidate him, Walter didn't flinch. He stood his ground, spoke softly, and let his actions do the talking. That's the mindset you need. Your territory, your peace, your energy is sacred. As Walter would say, stay out of my territory. Guard it like a fortress. Don't let anyone breach it with their nonsense. There's an old saying, he who angers you controls you. If someone's words can ruin your mood, they own you. They sleep soundly while you stew, replaying their disrespect, letting it eat at you. You deserve better. Decide right now, no one's words, no one's actions, no one's disrespect will ever make you lose yourself. This isn't about being passive or weak. It's about recognizing that your energy is a currency, more valuable than gold. Imagine you're carrying $1,000 in your pocket, and a stranger demands half just because they feel like it. Would you hand it over? Of course not. So why give away your peace to someone who hasn't earned it? Why let their negativity rent space in your mind? Here's a practical tip. Practice the pause. When someone provokes you, don't react immediately. Take a breath. Count to 5. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most of the time, it's not. Most people who try to drag you down aren't worth your time. Their opinions don't define you. Their drama isn't your responsibility. The greatest minds, leaders, visionaries, people like Walter White don't waste energy on petty conflicts. They stay focused, making calculated moves while others drown in impulse. Your emotions are yours to command. You decide what's worth your reaction. You decide what deserves your attention. That's freedom. That's power. Let me tell you a story. Imagine you're at work and a colleague snaps at you in a meeting, questioning your ideas in front of everyone. Your heart races. You want to fire back to put them in their place. But instead, you pause. You take a deep breath, nod, and say, I'll consider that. Later, you address the issue privately, calmly, with facts that shut them down. That's power. That's beating them with brains. By not reacting in the moment, you kept your dignity, stayed in control, and came out stronger. Practice this daily. The more you pause, the stronger you get. The more you refuse to let others control your mood, the more untouchable you become. One day, the things that used to shake you, the insults, the slights, the disrespect, will bounce off you like rain off a windshield. Why? Because you've taken back your power. The power of silence. Power isn't in being the loudest voice in the room. It's not in winning every argument or proving everyone wrong. Real power is in silence. It's in holding back when the world expects you to explode. It's in knowing that not every insult needs a response. Not every fool deserves your attention. Silence isn't weakness, it's discipline. It's confidence so deep, you don't need to explain yourself. Like Walter White, let your actions speak louder than words. In Breaking Bad, Walter's most dangerous moments weren't when he shouted. They were when he was quiet, calculating, letting his enemies reveal their cards while he planned 5 steps ahead. That's the kind of power you need to cultivate. Imagine someone trying to drag you into their drama. They're throwing accusations, trying to provoke a reaction. Instead of arguing, you look at them, nod, and walk away. That silence is deafening. It destroys their power. People who thrive on conflict need your reaction to feel in control. When you give them nothing, not a word, not a flinch, you strip them of their fuel. You keep your power, and they're left grasping at air. In a world where everyone's quick to argue, quick to prove a point, the one who stays silent holds the upper hand. Words lose weight when thrown carelessly. Silence forces others to confront their own nonsense, to still in their own chaos. There's a time to speak, but there's also a time to withhold. Some of the greatest moves in history were made in silence. A look, a pause, a refusal to engage. Think of a chess master, quietly studying the board while their opponent rambles. The master doesn't need to boast, they move with precision and they win. Silence is your strategy, it's your weapon. It takes strength to hold your tongue when you could win an argument. It takes wisdom to walk away when provoked. But every time you choose silence over reaction, you prove you're in control. You're not ruled by impulse. You're not owned by emotion. Here's a practical tip. When someone tries to bait you, visualize yourself as a fortress. Their words are arrows, but they can't penetrate your walls. Let them fire. Let them exhaust themselves. Your silence is your shield. It makes you unreadable, unpredictable, and in that unpredictability lies your dominance. People who know how to push your buttons can manipulate you, but when you embrace silence, they're left guessing. They don't know if you're angry, calm, or planning your next move. That uncertainty, that's power. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're at a family gathering and a relative makes a snide comment about your career choices. Everyone's watching, waiting for your reaction. Instead of arguing, you smile, say nothing, and change the subject. Later, you quietly achieve a major career milestone, letting your success speak for itself. That relative, they're stunned. Your silence didn't just shut them down, it showed them you're above their games. That's how you win. So, the next time someone disrespects you, don't take the bait. Be still, smile, walk away. In that moment, you've already won. Silence is your strength, and it's how you outsmart them all.
Don't take it personally. People will throw negativity at you, criticism, insults, disrespect. Some do it deliberately, trying to tear you down. Others do it unknowingly, projecting their own pain, their own insecurities. But here's the key. You have a choice. You can absorb their garbage, let it sink into your mind, let it shape how you feel. Or you can let it pass through you like a breeze. The unshakable don't take things personally. They understand the source of negativity but refuse to carry its weight. When someone insults you, pause and ask, is this about me or is it about them? 9 times out of 10, it's their struggle, their frustration, their self-doubt. Happy, fulfilled people don't attack others. Only hurt people hurt. Think of Walter White facing his rivals. When they mocked him, underestimated him, he didn't let it rattle him. He knew their words weren't about his worth. They were about their fear, their need to feel superior. He stayed focused, let their taunts slide, and outsmarted them every time. You need that same mindset. Imagine someone hands you a bag of garbage. Do you carry it all day, letting it ruin your mood? Or do you refuse it, knowing it's not yours to hold? Negativity is the same. Don't accept it. Don't let it seep into your spirit. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you're cold. It means you refuse to be a sponge for toxic energy. Here's how to practice this. When someone criticizes you, take a moment to analyze it. Is there truth in it? If it's constructive, learn from it. If it's just venom, let it go. Don't let their opinion become your reality. Imagine you're a mountain. Storms come, wind, rain, thunder, but the mountain doesn't move. It stands firm. That's you. Let the storms of negativity pass around you. Don't absorb them. Don't let them shake you. For example, imagine you're driving and someone cuts you off, yelling insults out their window. Your instinct is to shout back, to feel attacked. But pause. Maybe they're late for an emergency. Maybe they're having the worst day of their life. Their anger isn't about you. It's about them. Let it go. Keep driving. Keep your peace. By not reacting, you've won. You've kept your energy intact. Your peace is yours to protect, and no one can take it unless you let them. Practice this mindset daily, and you'll find that the things that once hurt you lose their power. You'll become untouchable, outsmarting negativity with ease. Create your environment. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you entertain, the energy you allow in your space, it all affects your mindset. Surround yourself with negativity and it seeps in, draining your focus, dimming your light. Surround yourself with positivity and you rise. Be ruthless about your circle. Ask yourself, do these people uplift me or drag me down? Do they inspire growth or feed drama? You become what you surround yourself with. If someone's energy doesn't align with your purpose, distance yourself. History doesn't justify toxicity. Just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they belong in your future. Think of Walter White's transformation. He surrounded himself with people who challenged him, who pushed him to think bigger, even if it was in a dark way. He didn't let small-minded people hold him back. You need to do the same. Some people thrive on complaints, excuses, and drama. They'll pull you into their storm if you let them. Don't. Seek out those who inspire you to dream bigger, who remind you of your greatness when you forget. If you don't have those people, find them. Read books that expand your mind. Listen to podcasts that ignite action. Follow voices that push you to grow. Your energy is priceless. Protect it like a treasure. Here's a practical step. Audit your environment. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do they align with your goals? Do they elevate your thinking? If not, limit their access. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means being selective. For example, if a friend constantly complains but never acts, set boundaries. Politely distance yourself from their negativity. Fill your life with positivity instead. Books like Atomic Habits by James Clear, podcasts like The School of Greatness, or mentors who challenge you to level up. Your energy is priceless. Protect it like a treasure. Let me share a story. Imagine 2 friends, Alex and Jamie. Alex surrounds himself with people who gossip, complain, and make excuses. Over time, he starts doubting his dreams, settling for less. Jamie, on the other hand, seeks out mentors, reads inspiring books, and joins a mastermind group. She starts a business, grows, confident, and achieves her goals. The difference? Their environments. Alex absorbed negativity, Jamie cultivated positivity. Be like Jamie. Build an environment that fuels your growth, not one that stunts it. Your environment is your foundation. Build it with care, and it will carry you to heights you never imagined. Train your mind daily. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it's only as strong as the training you give it. Like a muscle, it grows through consistent effort. Feed it doubt, and doubt will grow. Feed it belief, and possibility expands. Most people live on autopilot, letting their thoughts run wild, reacting to every external trigger. But you're different. You can control what you feed your mind. Start your day with intention, gratitude, affirmations, knowledge, not mindless scrolling or gossip. Train your mind to focus on solutions, not problems. Challenge limiting beliefs. Refuse to let fear or doubt steer you. Think of Walter White's mind. He wasn't born a master strategist. He trained himself to think differently, to see opportunities where others saw obstacles. When he faced a problem, like a rival threatening his empire, he didn't panic. He analyzed, planned, and executed. You need that same discipline. Start small. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Read 10 pages of a book that challenges your thinking. Listen to a motivational talk while you work out. These habits seem small, but they compound. They build a mind that doesn't break under pressure, a mind that dominates. Here's a challenge. For the next 30 days, commit to feeding your mind something positive every morning. It could be a quote, a book, a podcast, anything that inspires growth. At the same time, cut out one source of negativity. Maybe it's a toxic social media account or a habit of checking your phone first thing. Replace it with something that builds you up. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Your thoughts will become clearer. Your focus will sharpen. You'll start to see solutions where others see problems. For example, imagine you're facing a tough deadline at work. Your untrained mind might spiral into stress, doubt, and excuses. But a trained mind pauses, breaks the problem into steps, and finds a solution. That's the power of daily mental training. It's not about motivation. Motivation fades. It's about discipline, about conditioning your mind to stay focused, resilient, and strategic. Every day, you're either training your mind for greatness or letting it weaken. Choose greatness. Train relentlessly, and your mind will become your greatest weapon.
Stay focused on your purpose. Distractions are everywhere. Every day, the world throws noise at you, negativity, doubt, procrastination. Stay focused, or you'll lose time you can't get back. Most people don't fail from lack of talent. They fail from lack of focus. They let others' voices, setbacks, or fears pull them off track. Your purpose is yours alone. Not everyone will understand it, and that's okay. Stop explaining your dreams to those who don't get it. Stop seeking validation. Success is your proof. Discipline, not motivation, drives you. Motivation fades, but discipline endures. Show up even when you're tired. Push through even when it's hard. Every obstacle is a setup for a comeback. Stay locked in and nothing can stop you. Think of Walter White's relentless focus. When he set his mind to a goal, nothing could derail him. Not fear, not doubt, not even his own mistakes. He stayed locked in, always thinking 5 steps ahead. You need that same clarity. Imagine you're building a business, but your inbox is flooded with negativity, critics, doubters, distractions. Do you engage, or do you stay focused? The answer is simple. Keep your eyes on the prize. Block out the noise. Every minute you spend on drama is a minute stolen from your purpose. Protect your time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Here's a practical tip. Set one clear goal each day. Write it down. Make it non-negotiable. Maybe it's finishing a project, reading a chapter, or taking one step toward your dream. Then, eliminate one distraction. Mute a group chat, unfollow a negative account, say no to a draining conversation. Over time, these small choices compound. You'll find yourself moving faster, stronger, closer to your goals. Focus is your superpower. Use it to outsmart everyone. Let go to move forward. Holding on to pain, grudges, or past mistakes is like running with a backpack full of bricks. You can't move at full speed. You can't climb to new heights. You're stuck, weighed down by yesterday's baggage. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. It's choosing your peace over your pride, your future over your past. You don't need closure or an apology to move on. Waiting for someone to admit they were wrong traps you in their story. Release the weight. Acknowledge the pain, but don't let it own you. Some people, even those you love, don't belong in your future. Let them go. Trust that every loss clears space for something greater. Walter White let go of his old life to become Heisenberg. He shed his fears, his doubts, his limitations. He didn't cling to what was comfortable. He embraced what was necessary. You need to do the same. Holding on to a grudge doesn't hurt the person who wronged you. It hurts you. It poisons your happiness, steals your focus. For example, if someone betrayed you, don't spend years replaying it. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and release it. Letting go is a daily choice, a habit of refusing to let the past steal your joy. Every time you feel anger creeping in, remind yourself, I choose peace. I choose my future. Here's how to practice letting go. Start with forgiveness, not for them, but for you. Write down one thing you're holding on to, a grudge, a mistake, a regret. Then write why you're ready to release it. Burn the paper if it helps. It's symbolic, but it's powerful. Then focus on the present. What can you do today to move toward your goals? Every step forward is a step away from the past. Trust that every closed door leads to a new one. Letting go is your freedom. It's how you step into your true power. Let me share a story. Imagine Sarah, who held on to anger toward a former friend who betrayed her trust. For years, she carried that pain, letting it cloud her decisions, her relationships, her peace. One day, she decided to let go. She wrote a letter to her friend, not to send, but to release. She burned it, then focused on her goals. Within months, she landed a dream job, reconnected with positive people, and felt lighter than ever. Why? Because she chose her future over her past. Be like Sarah. Let go and watch how fast you rise. You are in control. Your emotions, your mindset, your peace, they're yours to command. The world will test you. People will provoke you. Life will throw obstacles in your path. But when you master your emotions, embrace silence, refuse to take things personally, curate your environment, train your mind, stay focused, and let go of what doesn't serve you, you become unstoppable. Like Walter White, move with strategy, not emotion. Beat them with brains. Rise above the noise. Choose discipline over drama, growth over grudges, purpose over pettiness. Your peace is your power. Guard it like a fortress. Build it like an empire. Live it like a king or queen. Nothing can shake you when you stand firm. So lock in, stay focused, dominate. The world is yours to conquer. Start today. Choose one action. Pause before reacting. Stay silent in conflict. Let go of a grudge and apply it. Take one step toward your power, then another and another. Before you know it, you'll be untouchable, outsmarting everyone, living the life you were born for. Beat them with brains. The game is yours. Thank you. Stay blessed and rise higher every single day.
The Arts of Dominance, Outsmarting the Game of Life. Let me tell you something real. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about how tired you are, how many times you've been betrayed, how often you've been overlooked, underestimated, or pushed to the side. Life doesn't hand out mercy for free. But here's the truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were built to stand out. And if you're going to survive in this world, if you're going to win in this world, you better learn how to outsmart it. I'm not talking about manipulation. I'm not talking about being sneaky or cool. I'm talking about moving differently, thinking sharper, living smarter, the kind of wisdom that comes from scars, from nights where you had to cry alone, from days where all you had was hope and a backbone made of steel. You want total dominance? You want to walk into a room and know that no one can play you? Then listen close, because I'm about to give you 5 rules that will change your life forever. 5 rules that separate the forgotten from the legendary. And if you live by them, you'll never be anybody's fool again. Rule 1. Control your emotions before they control you. Let me ask you something deep. How many times have you lost something valuable? An opportunity, a relationship, your dignity, not because of what someone else did, but because of how you reacted. Be honest with yourself. Emotions are powerful, but they can be poison if you don't learn how to manage them. A person who can't control their anger, their fear, their insecurity becomes a puppet, not a player. Life tugs at those strings. People tug at those strings. And before they know it, they're dancing to a tune they never wrote. But the one who has discipline over their emotions, that's a dangerous soul. That's a person who's seen storms, but still walks like the sun shines only for them. You've got to get to a place where you feel everything, but you respond to nothing unless it's on your terms. Control doesn't mean being numb. It means being wise. It means not letting someone's disrespect pull you into chaos. You don't respond to every bark. You are the lion. Lions don't flinch when small dogs bark. You don't defend your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't let someone else's poison become your mindset. If someone disrespects you, you observe, you calculate, and you respond when you're ready, if it's even worth it. Because when you let your emotions decide your actions, you give your power away. That's what average people do. And you're not average. You're not here to be predictable. You're here to rise, to lead, to dominate, without losing your peace. Have you ever noticed how the most dangerous individuals in any room are the calmest? That's not a coincidence. Stillness is a weapon. Composure is control. While others are swinging wild with emotion, throwing punches with no aim, you stand still and you watch. You learn. You strike when the time is right. The loudest one in the room is rarely the most powerful, but the one sitting silently watching, listening, reading the energy, that's the one you better not ignore. Be that person. People should never know what rattles you. Never let your face reveal your next move. You hear me? That's how you outsmart the manipulators, the critics, the backstabbers. Stay poised. Your silence in the middle of a storm speaks louder than 1,000 words. Emotions are natural, but they were never meant to be your master. Anger, jealousy, fear, those are signals, not steering wheels. And if you let them take the wheel, they'll drive you straight into regret. So what do? You train yourself. You learn to breathe before you speak. You learn to observe before you act. You build your ability to delay reaction until your mind, not your feelings, decides what comes next. You turn emotion into fuel, not fire. You channel your pain into purpose. You channel your disappointment into strategy. And when someone tries to provoke you, you remind yourself, I control this moment. I choose how this ends. Right there, that's where true dominance lives. Let me tell you a secret. Real power is self-control. That's why so many people don't have it. It takes more strength to stay calm than to lash out. It takes more character to walk away than to start a war you'll regret. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you're smart enough to know which battles matter and which ones are just noise. Most of what angers you isn't worth your energy. Most of what disappoints you is simply redirection from life telling you that wasn't for you. But if you're too caught up in your feelings, you miss the lesson. And when you miss the lesson, you repeat the mistake. It's not just about walking away from conflict. It's about walking into purpose with a clear head. Because when you're emotionally out of control, your vision is clouded. You can't see opportunities. You can't make good decisions. You'll trust the wrong people, speak out of turn, burn bridges you might have needed later. But when your mind is sharp and your spirit is stable, you're untouchable. You walk through storms like they were sunny days. People throw shade, and you grow in it. They underestimate you, and you let their ignorance become your camouflage. Because emotional discipline, that's how you make power moves in silence. Listen, if someone can push your buttons, they can control your life. If they know how to make you angry, they know how to distract you. If they know what triggers your insecurity, they know how to manipulate your decisions. And if they can manipulate your decisions, then you're not living on your terms. You're dancing to their beat. That's not dominance. That's dependence. That's emotional slavery. So you need to start asking yourself, who's really in control here? Is it you or your wounds, your fear, your ego? Get in the driver's seat of your own emotional state. Because you can't lead others. You can't protect what's yours. You can't win this life if you're a prisoner to every mood that comes knocking. I'm not telling you this from a place of perfection. I'm telling you this from experience. You're going to feel like reacting. You're going to want to fight, to scream, to prove yourself. But the higher you rise, the more pressure you'll face. The more nonsense will try to pull you in. That's why you've got to develop a mind that's stronger than your emotions. You've got to sit with discomfort and not let it break you. You've got to let go of the need to be understood, validated, praised. Sometimes you'll have to walk away in silence even though your pride wants to roar. Sometimes you'll have to be the bigger person when everything in you wants to burn it all down. That's what warriors do. And you, my friend, you're built for war. But the battlefield is your mind. So if you want to outsmart anyone, you start by outsmarting yourself. Outsmart your own anger. Outsmart your own ego. Outsmart that little voice inside you that wants revenge instead of victory. Your legacy will not be built by how loud you roared, but by how well you ruled over yourself. So control your emotions and never let them control you. That's not just the first rule to total dominance, it's the foundation that every other rule is built on. Get this right, and the world will never play you again. Rule 2. Learn everything, speak little. Let me tell you something most people never understand until it's too late. You don't win power by talking. You win power by knowing. There's something sacred about silence, something heavy, something dominant. In a world where everyone is trying to prove something, trying to impress, trying to be seen, the one who says the least often holds the most weight. The world respects wisdom, and wisdom doesn't shout, it whispers. When you walk into a room and speak only when necessary, people lean in, they listen. Because when you speak little, everything you say carries more impact. But before you open your mouth, you better make sure you know what you're talking about. You've got to learn everything. Watch the patterns, read the people, study the game, and then say less. Because the one who knows the most and says least, that's the one who wins. You see, every time you speak unnecessarily, you give away something. Your thoughts, your fears, your strategy, your weakness. People will study your words, pick them apart, use them against you. But if you master the art of holding your tongue, of only speaking when your words are sharp and clear, you remain untouchable. You confuse your enemies, you intrigue your allies, and you guard your peace. It's not about being mysterious. It's about being intentional. It's about being dangerous in your silence. Because people can't manipulate what they don't understand. They can't block moves they don't see coming. And they can't control someone whose mind they can't read. Learn to make your silence louder than their noise. Look,
Life is a classroom, and every person, every room, every failure is a teacher. But if you're too busy talking, you'll never learn. If you're too eager to be heard, you'll miss the lessons being whispered around you. The smartest people in the room are always listening. They're not trying to impress you. They're trying to assess you. They're watching your tone, your word choices, your energy. They're picking up details, patterns, gaps in your logic. And when they speak, they don't waste breath. Their words are precise, measured, and powerful. That's what you need to be. Stop trying to be the loudest. Be the most aware. Learn to absorb information like a sponge. Be the one who sits back and collects knowledge until the time's right.
Rule 3. Move with precision, not permission. There comes a time in your life when you realize that waiting for someone to validate you is the very thing holding you back. You keep hoping someone will see your worth, open a door, give you a chance. But the truth is, no one's coming to give you permission to rise. You've got to take it. You've got to move like it's already yours, like the opportunity has already been signed, sealed, and delivered. You see, power doesn't belong to the hesitant. Power doesn't belong to the one always looking around for a nod of approval. It belongs to the one who studies the path, sharpens the blade, and steps forward with intention. Precision over permission. That's the mindset of those who dominate. You don't ask the world if it's okay to be great. You show the world what greatness looks like. You are not born to beg. You are not designed to wait at the back of the line until somebody waves you forward. When you operate with precision, you don't chase, you choose. You move with purpose, not panic. You don't wait for someone to say go, because you already decided this race belongs to you. Think about it. How many people never start the journey because they're still hoping someone tells them they're ready? The ones who win, they prepare in silence. They study the map. They build in the dark. And when they show up, they're not asking to enter. They're taking their seat at the table. The world steps aside for the one who knows where they're going. You've got to treat your life like a mission, and missions aren't up for debate. When a pilot takes off, they don't ask the passengers if it's okay to fly. They follow a precise path, a focused plan, and they lift off with confidence. That's how you've got to move in your life. No more hesitation, no more self-doubt, no more asking if you're good enough. Start walking like the ground is already yours. Start speaking like your voice has value. Start deciding like your vision deserves to live. Because when you wait for permission, you give your power away. And once power is handed over, it's hard to get it back. But when you move with precision, you keep control in your hands. You lead, you don't follow. You command, you don't request. Let me be clear. Precision is not about being impulsive. It's not about rushing. It's about thinking with clarity, moving with confidence, and executing with excellence. When you move with precision, you've already done the work before anyone sees you. You've trained, you've studied, you've failed and gotten back up. So when you finally take that step, you don't need applause. You've got alignment. You're not moving to impress people. You're moving because you've earned your moment. And that kind of power doesn't ask for attention. It commands it. Your silence becomes strength. Your steps become statements. Your vision becomes undeniable. You don't knock on the door asking to be let in. You build your own door and walk through it. The difference between people who dream and people who dominate is simple. Dominators don't wait for ideal conditions. They don't wait for support, understanding, or applause. They decide, they move, they adjust, they fail forward because they're not looking for comfort. They're chasing clarity. And clarity comes from moving. You find out who you are not when you're thinking, but when you're doing. When you move with precision, you learn from your missteps and you correct your course, but you never stop, you never stall, you never hand your momentum to someone else. Your path may not be easy, but it will be yours, and that's where freedom lives, not in perfection, but in purposeful movement. Sometimes the loudest chains are the ones in your own mind, that inner voice that says you need permission. You're not ready. Who do you think you are? But that voice is a liar, and it'll keep you small if you let it. That's why precision matters. When you are focused on your goal, there is no room for that noise. When you are locked into your next step, fear can't find you.
You can't be intimidated by rejection when you no longer ask. You can't be crushed by opinions when your mission is bigger than their approval. People might not understand your journey. That's okay. They weren't given your vision. You were. So honor it, walk in it, own it. Greatness doesn't announce itself. It shows up in the consistency of your actions, in the sharpness of your moves, in the discipline behind your decisions. Every day that you take a step without waiting for the world to clap is a day you grow stronger, clearer, bolder. Don't move because it's popular. Move because it's aligned. Don't speak because you want to be heard. Speak because you have something to say. Don't act to impress. Act to impact. When you learn to move with precision, you stop reacting and start creating. You stop chasing and start building. And slowly, the world begins to catch up to the power you always had inside of you. So from this moment on, stop waiting. Decide who you are. Decide what you want. Then move. Move, even if they doubt you. Move even if they mock you. Move even if no one's watching, because eventually they will watch. They'll look back and realize you never asked them for a single thing. And that's what power looks like. You don't demand attention. You command respect. You don't wait to be told it's your turn. You take it with grace, with strength, with precision. Because when you know your worth, you never move timidly again. And when you move like that, you don't just change your life, you change everything. Rule 4. Turn every setback into strategy. Life is going to hit you. That's a promise. There will be moments where you feel like the wind's been knocked out of your chest, where everything you built comes crashing down in front of you. You'll lose things you thought you couldn't live without: people, opportunities, time. And in those moments, you'll hear a voice inside that says, "Give up, you're done." But listen to me, that's not the end, that's the beginning. Because inside every setback is a seed of wisdom, a seed of growth, a seed of strategy. Pain isn't just punishment, it's preparation. The people who rise to greatness aren't the ones who avoid hardship, they're the ones who take every loss, every delay, every disappointment, and build a plan out of it. They don't let pain paralyze them, they let it sharpen their focus. You've got to stop seeing failure as a dead end. It's not a stop sign, it's a detour with lessons. When you fall, when something breaks, when life tells you no, that's not rejection, that's redirection. You are being pointed towards something deeper, something better. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who've had an easy road. They're the ones who've turned their obstacles into opportunities. They looked at the storm and said, "I will not break, I will build. I will not panic, I will plan." The difference between the defeated and the dangerous is this: defeated people stay down. Dangerous people get back up with more clarity, more hunger, and more strategy. When the door shuts, you don't cry in front of it forever. You study why it closed. You learned how it worked. You figure out how to build a door of your own. That's the strategy. See, setbacks are not there to destroy you. They are showing you what you need to strengthen. If you lost something, ask why. If you were rejected, ask what that pain was trying to teach you. Because pain always points to purpose, and struggle always hides solutions. You can either sit in the ashes of what didn't work, or you can rise from those ashes with a new playbook. But you have to choose. You have to decide. Is this going to define me or refine me? What separates leaders from followers is what they do when life slaps them hard. Do they blame others? Do they give up? Or do they go silent, go inward, and come back with fire? That's where real power lives, in the comeback. And not just any comeback, a calculated one. You study the mistake, you isolate the weakness, you correct the movement. You don't repeat, you rewire. You look at the problem and dissect it like a surgeon. You turn every "why me" into "what now?" You turn every tear into a tool. That's how winners move. They don't waste their pain, they weaponize it. Sometimes your setback is the universe's way of breaking your comfort zone wide open. Maybe you were settling, maybe you were distracted, maybe you forgot who you are, and that took that loss, that betrayal, that rejection to shake you awake, to force you to recalibrate. Setbacks have a strange way of realigning you with your original vision. Think about it. A bow has to be pulled back before it can fire the arrow.
So maybe you're not being pulled apart, maybe you're being pulled into position. Let that shift your perspective. Let that awaken the strategist within you. You've got to become a student of your own setbacks. Every time life throws a challenge at you, ask yourself, what is this showing me about myself? Maybe you need more discipline. Maybe you need better people around you. Maybe you need to stop depending on validation and start trusting your instincts. The strategy isn't always about changing others. Sometimes the greatest shift comes when you change how you respond. Life will test you again and again, not to crush you, but to prepare you. And every test passed becomes a tool in your arsenal. You become more precise, more confident, more unshakable. Setbacks become stepping stones when you walk over them with strategy. Let me tell you something real. Setbacks don't just hurt, they humble. And humility is the birthplace of wisdom. You start listening more. You start observing more. You stop rushing and start thinking. The setback slows you down, not to stop you, but to make sure you're moving in the right direction. There's beauty in that. There's power in that. The storm didn't come to drown you. It came to teach you how to swim deeper. Every great leader, every champion, every world changer had moments when everything collapsed, but they built again, not with the same mindset, but one forged in fire, focused on strategy. And that's exactly how you will rise. So don't waste your suffering. Don't let your breakdown go unused. There's a blueprint hidden in your most painful moments. You've got to dig through the wreckage.
Rule 5. Be unpredictable. Make no pattern easy to trace. In a world that thrives on routine and predictability, there is unmatched power in being the one nobody can figure out. When people can predict your next move, they control you without lifting a finger. They read your habits, they anticipate your reactions, and suddenly, you're not leading anymore, you're reacting. But when you choose to be unpredictable, when you refuse to walk in straight lines or repeat the same emotional scripts, you become untouchable. Your enemies can't attack what they can't track. Your rivals can't copy what they can't understand. The key to dominance in any field, in any room, in any relationship is mystery. And mystery comes from movement without a map. It's about breaking patterns on purpose. It's about showing up with silence when they expect noise, with strength when they expect weakness, with calm when they expect chaos. Unpredictability doesn't mean being erratic. It means being strategic. You're not out of control, you're just never obvious. Most people live on autopilot. Same thoughts, same responses, same habits. And that makes them easy targets. If someone knows what you'll do next, they'll manipulate your every step. But when you break out of that pattern, when you start thinking for yourself and responding differently than you used to, they get confused. They get nervous. And that's where your power begins. You must be willing to walk away when they think you'll beg. Remain silent when they expect you to explode. Succeed in silence when they're waiting for your downfall. Be the calm in the chaos. Let your peace be unpredictable. The world expects reactions. Give them discipline instead. The world expects patterns. Give them innovation. That's how you keep the upper hand, not through force, but through surprise. Unpredictability is a weapon the world isn't ready for, because when you're unpredictable, you're in control of the story. You rewrite the rules. You reset the narrative. People don't know how to handle someone who isn't desperate to explain themselves, who doesn't show all their cards, who moves with intention but without announcement. That kind of energy confuses the predictable mind. And the moment you're no longer readable, you're no longer reachable by their manipulations. You disrupt the rhythm they relied on. You're no longer a song they can dance to, you're a storm they can't predict. And that, my friend, is how you become a force, not a follower, not a pawn, a force. They will call you distant, let them. They will call you mysterious, let them. They will say you've changed, and they're right, because the old you was easy to read. The old you reacted emotionally, followed the script, showed up just to be seen. But the new you observe more, you reveal less. You do your thinking in silence, and you're winning in private. You no longer need to respond to every challenge. You don't explain your every move. You let people guess, assume, wonder. And in that space of uncertainty, you gain ground. You dominate. Because every time they try to trap you with a pattern, you show them you've evolved. You've upgraded your operating system. And now you don't play the same game. They just don't know the rules anymore. Even in the battlefield of life, unpredictability is your shield. Think like a general, not a soldier. A general doesn't show all their strategies. A general misleads, misdirects, confuses the enemy, and then strikes with precision. That's you now. Stop giving people roadmaps to your heart. Stop handing out access to your next step. Make them earn it. Keep them on their heels. The people around you may not always have bad intentions, but many will misuse predictable people. They'll take advantage of consistency that has no strategy. But when you're unpredictable, they have to think twice. They hesitate, and in that hesitation, you win. You outmaneuver them without even speaking. Being unpredictable also builds internal strength. It means you've detached from the need to please, the need to be understood at all times. It means you're not addicted to reaction. You're grounded in intention. You don't follow moves, you follow mission. You walk into a room not needing attention because your presence is already doing the work. You don't raise your voice, you raise your standards. That's how you move differently. That's how you confuse the ones who expected the old you to show up. And the beauty of being unpredictable is this: the ones who truly value you won't need constant clarity. They'll respect your growth even when they don't understand it. Let me tell you the truth. Every great disruptor in history was unpredictable. They didn't rise by doing what was expected. They rose by breaking the rhythm, by going left when the world expected right, by staying quiet when everyone else screamed, by showing up differently, thinking differently, moving differently. Unpredictability is not a glitch. It's a design. And it's a design that keeps you in control. Because when no one knows your next move, they can't sabotage you. When no one can predict your growth, they can't slow it down. When you move like water, fluid, powerful, untouchable, you don't just avoid the trap. You are the storm that breaks the trap. So stop apologizing for being unreadable. That's not a weakness, it's wisdom. Be kind, but not predictable. Be consistent, but not patterned. Be powerful, but not loud. You don't owe anyone the script of your soul. Your next step, let it be a surprise. Let them guess. Let them wait. Because power isn't always loud. It's often silent, strategic, and out of sight. And when the moment is right, when they least expect it, when the world thinks you settled, you rise without warning, without pattern, without permission. That's how kings move. That's how legends are made. That's how dominance is secured, not through force alone, but through mystery, through control, through the divine art of being unpredictable. Rule 6. Win without showing the war. There is a different kind of power, one that doesn't shout, doesn't announce itself with noise, and doesn't need to raise a flag to prove it's in control. It's the power of those who move in silence, who make their victories invisible until they're undeniable. See, real power is not just about domination. It's about discipline. It's about knowing you can win, but choosing to win with such grace that no one even saw the battlefield. The loudest man in the room is often the weakest. The one constantly trying to prove something is usually the one with nothing real to offer. But when you operate from a place of quiet confidence, from deep-rooted certainty, you don't need validation. You don't need to show the war because you're already winning on a higher level. People may doubt you, let them. They may underestimate you, let them. That's your advantage. They can't defend against a fight they don't see coming. So play the long game. Keep your focus, keep your silence. And when the dust settles, they'll be standing in a battlefield they didn't even know you walked through, and you'll be the last one standing.
The mistake most people make is thinking that strength is always loud. But that's surface-level thinking. True strength lies in stillness. It's the restraint not to react when your ego is provoked. It's the ability to stay grounded when everything around you is shaking. It's the calm in your spirit when your name is being dragged through the dirt and you still refuse to roll around in the mud. Because the moment you fight on their level, you lose the war. They want you angry. They want you flustered. They want you emotional. Why? Because emotional people make bad decisions. And when you lose control, you lose power. So instead, you smile, you nod, you walk away, and you make your moves where no one can see them. Because that's how real dominance works. It's quiet, it's strategic, and it never fights battles that don't need to be fought. People will push you, life will test you, they will throw rumors, lies, betrayal your way, and the world will whisper in your ear, clap back, respond, expose them. But that's not the way of the wise. That's not the way of the dominant. You don't respond to ants when you're walking with giants. You don't stop to throw stones at every barking dog when you're headed toward a throne. Silence is not weakness, it's warfare. It's choosing which battles matter and letting the rest fall into the shadows of your relevance. Your energy is precious. Don't waste it trying to prove what only time can reveal. Because when it's all said and done, the truth doesn't need defending. It stands tall on its own. There is power in letting your success speak louder than your emotions, in letting your consistency drown out their gossip. Let your growth be your revenge. Let your pace be your answer. Let your character, refined in private, tested in silence, speak when they expect you to break. Your silence should never be misunderstood as surrender. It is, in fact, the preparation room of legends. While they're arguing, you're building. While they're mocking, you're mastering. While they're watching, you're working. Because war doesn't need to be televised. And real warriors don't fight for an audience. They fight for legacy. And legacy is not built through reaction. It's built through resilience, through patience, through relentless focus on the mission. The highest level of power is self-mastery. And self-mastery means you no longer need to show people who you are. They will feel it when you walk in the room. Your presence, your discipline, your results will do all